Hello everyone, this is your host Noorish Khan, and Pakistan officially ended their campaign in the T20 World Cup 2026 with a win, but unfortunately the damage for them has been done as the Pakistan versus Sri Lanka encounter, which by the way was the last encounter of the Super 8 rounds for group number 2 as Pakistan faced off Sri Lanka at Pellicles Stadium in Kente. And of course it was a very highly anticipated match for a lot of reasons. Pakistan, who was given some hope after New Zealand lost against England in the second last encounter of the Group of 8 round of the T20 World Cup 2026 of Group 2, there was some hope given to the Pakistani team, but alas, Pakistani team couldn't really convert it into what's into something of benefit for them. And if you have been quite frankly, if you have been following my analysis for a long period of time now, especially in the T20 World Cup 2026, you would know that I had been emphasizing, re-emphasizing, reiterating it since a long time that this encounter was never going to be a walk in the park for Pakistan. A lot of people were out there saying that Pakistan would win this comfortably, but I had been opposing this ever since the start of this tournament, ever since the four teams who were going to make it to the Super 8s, especially the four teams included in Group 2 of the Super 8s were confirmed. It has come down to the point that I am literally finding words on where to begin my analysis, because honestly there's so much wrong with the current Pakistani side. And these are not even errors, these are blunders, this is sheer negligence, I'd say. And the decisions that were taken today, with respect to including players in the squad, selecting the right playing 11, middle order crisis, and all of them, none of them have been new. Now, all of the things that all of the mistakes, all of the loopholes, all of the gray areas for Team Pakistan today that really made them fell short of that win today. Again, fell short of their qualification, the semi-final round today, was credited to those negligence, credited to those blunders that they have been doing for a long period of time now. I mean, referencing the 2022 T20 World Cup 2020, T20 World Cup 2022, I would just want to seize this moment to, pose this $1 million question. When are we ever going to learn? It's not going to be every day, every tournament that we are just going to be dependent on other teams to, and on the ifs and buts criteria to ensure that we make it to the semifinals. And even that is not going to secure us a place in the semifinals, because every day is not Sunday. I mean, just because you made it to the knockout stages, at the expense of South Africa, who lost to Netherlands back in the 2022 World Cup, um, miraculously lost to Netherlands, and Netherlands miraculously won that match. At the expense of South Africa, Pakistan made it to the playoffs round. Now, every tournament not going to have that same fate, right? You have to accept the fact that you have to pose a performance that is so I'd say so plausible, so commendable, and so strong, so full of value, full of substance, and to the point that you don't even need to rely on others to make it to the semifinals round, because that is exactly where the problem is. Pakistan needs to be independent, Pakistani team needs to be independent, and that mindset is going to come when we're going to adapt to the modern day cricket, which we're clearly not adapting to it. So I'm gonna come down to it in a bit, but let me, before I go down and analyze Pakistan's performances, because I've been analyzing it for a long period of time now. Even ever since the start of this tournament, a lot of anticipation has been going on, and majority of my analysis, the loopholes, the gray areas, the mistakes have been quite the same. So quite frankly, I mean, I could see this coming, to be very honest with you, because I was afraid that Pakistan might not learn from their mistakes. And while Pakistan did take some decisions, did make some changes in the playing 11 today, they were not the right changes, to be honest. I'm going to come down to it in a bit. But first, let me just take a moment. Let me seize this opportunity to appreciate how well Sri Lanka have, stepped up in this tournament. And to be honest with you, I don't know about you guys, but, hearing Dasun Chanaka be so reflective in a post after the match, when he had a talk with Ramiz Raja after the match was over, and in a post-match presentation, he was literally very apologetic to the Sri Lankan fans, and he kept on saying that sorry we couldn't make it big in this tournament, but owing to those injuries that had really affected us. And he's not wrong in saying that, because this Sri Lankan side Number one, it was Hasaranga deficient Sri Lankan side, and I've been saying it for a long period of time now. This Sri Lankan side have been absolutely tremendous, and anyone who says otherwise clearly have not seen them in the past few years. So no one even expected them to win any single match, to be honest, let alone make it to the group of eight, to the Super 8 round, right? So I mean, I have no grievances from the Sri Lankan side. Yes, the past two matches they could have won easily, but you gotta really take a deep look at it from the perspective of Sri Lanka as well, who have been battling so many injuries this season, especially in this tournament, that it has affected them to the core. And of course, it does make a difference. When all your key players, when most of your key players, the players that you look forward to, that are literally the backbone of your entire team, they get injured, it really does affect you. And how you step up in that sort of in those circumstances really is really sets the tone of really sets the tone of your team's performance ahead in the T20 World Cup 2026. Now for Pakistan, this is a moment of reflection for them, because Pakistan had been going all in with their entire strength, with their full strength, which by the way Pakistan didn't utilize it to the fullest, right? So Pakistan doesn't have this excuse that there were injured players, or we didn't really have the right people that we could have selected. No, you did have the right people, did have the right players, but you just couldn't make you just couldn't get the basics right. The basics as simple as selecting the right playing 11, selecting the right players in the for at the right point of time, at the right venue, for the right job. You failed in the basics, so I mean, how could you even expect to make it to the semifinals with these kind of these mistakes are criminal. These are not, you won't call this mistake, these mistakes occur once, twice, or even thrice. You keep on repeating the same mistakes time and again, and I mean, even despite that, if you expect to make it to the semifinals, I mean, then that's next level delusion, to be very honest with you. Because I mean, today, I mean, yeah, people have been praising Saibzada Farhan's exceptional century, which by the way they should, because Saibzada Farhan has been absolutely sensational with the bat throughout this tournament. In fact, he's the first person of this tournament to secure a century twice in the tournament of the T20 World Cup 2026 so far. And he's also been the first person to surpass Virat Kohli in securing the highest, in bagging and getting the highest runs in the tournament for his team in a T20 World Cup edition. So yeah, and that's what he's made quite a few records today with the bat. You gotta give credit to his sensational knock of 100 of just 50. He got out of the very next ball that of his century. So yeah, you gotta give credit to that. But then I have a little bit of grievance from him as well. When Saibzada Farhan and Fakhar Zaman were there on the crease, they should have batted till the end. And even if they got out early, I have so many grievances from the middle order, Pakistani middle order. When are we ever going to learn? When is that middle order crisis ever going to solve? This is a question that I've been seeking answer to ever since I was little. Growing up, I've seen many Pakistani matches. I've seen many cricket World Cup matches, including the 2011 World Cup. And what I've noticed is that I've been hearing the middle order crisis, poor fielding, leaking unnecessary runs in the power play, and the death overs ever since I was little. And now, growing up, it's the same story. So only the years change, the story stays different. We should have learned back in 2022 when we made it to the knockout rounds of the T20 World Cup 2022 at the expense of South Africa. We should have learned a lot from them, from that, from that World Cup. But we didn't really learn anything. We didn't really learn that we don't need to bring back a player after so soon after an injury. We brought back Shaheen Afridi really soon because he had just been battling an injury, a knee injury as a matter of fact, before the T20 World Cup 2026, and we brought him with just a month and a half of rehab back in the team he was. And then Shadab Khan, I agree, he might have been deemed fit by the relevant authorities, but still there was too much, of a burden on his shoulders. He was brought back into the squad for the T20 World Cup 2026 quite early, even during the mid during while he was all the while he was playing BBL 15. So I mean, it doesn't make any sense, to be honest. The squad was not even, you didn't even select the right players in the squad from the get-go, let alone selecting the right playing 11. And you had the opportunity to select the right playing 11. I'm just going to point to, because there's a lot that's wrong, plenty wrong with the Pakistan cricket team, but two of the basics that they couldn't get right was, especially with respect to selecting the right playing 11, were the facts that Number one, I didn't understand why Pakistani team did not play Salman Mirza today, especially considering Palekle Stadium, the conditions there, the outfield there, the pitch in Palekle Stadium. It was a heaven for bowlers like Salman Mirza, who have been making full use of these kind of conditions so far in this tournament. And then on top of that, I don't get why they didn't include Fahim Ashraf today. Today wasn't the day you would want to rest him. He brings in an extremely great versatility with the pace. He knows when to experiment with the off cutters and the cross seam at the right point, at the right time, at the right situation. And Pellicule Stadium, the outfield, the pitch. Everything was just complimenting Fahim Ashraf there, but you just failed to include him in the playing 11, and that really cost you so many runs. Had he been there, he would have scored, if not 50 or 100, he would have at least scored 10 to 15 runs at minimum. That would have really helped you, because let's just face it, Pakistan was 20 to 30 runs short yet again. So 213 was not a, everyone who's glorifying this total needs to do a reality check. This was not at all a good total, especially considering the start that Pakistani team had, with Saibzada Farhan scoring a century, Fakhr scoring for 84. So Pakistan should have not rested. Pakistan should not have ended their first innings agenda, first innings assignment anywhere before the 250 mark. And the 250 mark, Pakistan was very, really far away from that 250 mark. Pakistan just rested at 212. So 213 was not at all a good total. Especially considering, but we are always 22 30 runs short. So to be honest with you, this should be an eye opener for us. This should be an eye opener for the Pakistani team. This should be an eye opener for Pakistani cricket, who has so much of potential. Right now, I'm pretty sure people who have been watching our analysis, especially my analysis, um, you know, there are people from all over the world who watch our analysis. And for those of you who don't know the structure, the domestic talent that we have here in Pakistan, we have immense talent. Last year alone, there were so many domestic tournaments that were held here in Pakistan, and so many able and really versatile players came out of those domestic tournaments as a byproduct. So it's not like we do not have the talent. It's just like we need to channelize those tournaments and the byproduct of those tournaments in the right way, at the right time, and at the right situation. And this is where Pakistan has been lacking for a long period of time now. Now, if I come to Sri Lanka, honestly, I don't get. Dasun Chanaka was literally on the verge of recreating that Carlos Brathwaite moment. I was honestly up at the edge of my seats, and I was very, very happy for that, because I've been saying it for a long period of time now, for a long time now, that every captain in this T20 World Cup 2026 need to learn a thing or two about captaincy from Dasun Chanaka. The guy is literally a wizard with captaincy, with the bat. It's just like he mentioned in his post match presentation talk. It's just that Sri Lanka really didn't have. They were not playing. They had not been playing the previous 2 to 3 games with their full strength, and they have been a victim of many injuries as well. So of course that inevitably affects the best of the team. So it, let alone Sri Lanka, right? So Dasun Chanaka was very reflective towards the end, and I think that's what matters. They would have really won that match against Pakistan today as well. And it's just unfortunate, to be honest. But a lot of positives for Team Sri Lanka, and for the Sri Lankan fans who are watching me through this video. I would just want to say, please do not be so much hard on your team. I could see how disappointed Dasun Chanaka was at the post-match presentation. Even I couldn't really understand what he was trying to say, because it was in Sinhalese, if I'm not wrong. But he was trying to say something to the crowd in Sinhalese so that they could better understand what he was saying. But albeit what I could make from his talk was the fact that he was being very reflective, and he was saying sorry to the Sri Lankan fans. So please do not be that hard on Dasun Chanaka. He has that potential, and it's only a matter of time when Sri Lanka really, really shocks everyone and the entire cricketing world with their exceptional abilities. For Pakistan, there's a lot that needs to be learned, and to be honest, I'm not at all happy and disappointed to the core. But then I was very disappointed when we lost that match against England, and to be honest, we lost right from there. So anything after that was just something that was a miracle that we were hoping, and it was 99% not possible. So I could see this coming, to be honest. And deserve. If I talk about the this World Cup, I don't think Pakistan really deserved a spot in the semi-finals with the performance that they've been putting. I mean, you make these basic blunders. I don't think you deserve a spot in the semi-finals. Had Pakistan made it, it would have been wonderful. I would have been happy. Everyone would have been happy. But I just hope Pakistan learns from these mistakes, and we really hope to see Pakistan, a strong Pakistani team in the future. Till then, till next time, this is your host Noorish Khan signing off. And news from the center is that it's the end of the assignment of the T20 World Cup 2026 for both Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka ended it with a loss, while Pakistan ended it with a win. And now we have our confirmed semi-finals from Group 2, that are England and New Zealand, and South Africa from Group 1 as well. And the second semi-finalist from Group 1 would be selected tomorrow, would be confirmed tomorrow, after that all important match between West Indies and India. And whoever wins that match would straight away make it to the semi-final of the T20 World Cup 2026. Till next time, this is your host Noorish Khan signing off. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe Masters Post Network. That is your go-to platform for all the cricketing updates. See you.